From the Command Center, Episode 11.
Power Rangers, Lightspeed Rescue. The signal is calling, our planet is falling. The danger will test you, better make it a Lightspeed Rescue. Power Rangers, Lightspeed Rescue. Power Rangers, Lightspeed Rescue. Power Rangers, Lightspeed Rescue. Lightspeed, go! Power's on its way. Rangers save the day. Power Rangers, Lightspeed Rescue. Power Rangers, Lightspeed Rescue. Power Rangers, Lightspeed Rescue. Power Rangers, Lightspeed Rescue. Lightspeed, go!
Welcome to the collaboration between the Pop Culture Network and the Geekcast Radio Network. This is From the Command Center, the podcast, episode 11. I'm Scotty Cash, and joining me from the Geekcast Radio Network is TFG1Mike. What's up, buddy?
What's going on?
Not much. So, Lightspeed Rescue, huh?
Yep.
Well, we don't give nothing out yet. Don't give nothing out yet.
I know. Before we get too far into it, we do have new iTunes reviews on the American side. A friend of mine who actually lives in Canada said we have reviews on the Canadian side, but I cannot see them because iTunes has this country coding bull snot that unless you live in that country or whatever else, or unless you choose that country, you can't see that country's iTunes store, which is so stupid. So next episode, next time we record, I'm going to have her screen cap those and send them to me. But we have 3 new iTunes reviews for the American side. One of them is not really a review, and this is really what kind of makes me mad about iTunes reviews in general, not to this specific person. We do appreciate them giving us a 5-star review, but it basically says, missed fact by Taijid. I can't even say what his name is or her name is. Scotty and TFG1Mike, you guys are awesome, and I know it's way past Zio, but I thought it would be funny to mention that Alex Borstein, aka Lois from The Family Guy, actually got her start as Queen Machina in Zio. Keep up the good work. Oh yeah, I have one thing to say to your haters. Motherfrackers be bull slagging. I have no idea. God, it must be a kid. Must be a little kid. I have no idea. As far as Alex Borstein, that's all well and good that she was Queen Machina. I'm not a Family Guy fan whatsoever. I actually hate that show.
How?
I just, it's not my kind of humor.
Wow.
It just,
I love that effing show. I try not to miss an episode, let alone hate it.
Yeah, I like Futurama. Futurama's good. Family Guy, that show sucks.
Well, in your opinion.
In a lot of people's opinions.
Well, you're probably right.
Yeah. The next review we got was on February 15th. Thanks for the memories. 5-star review by Darth Shaggy. Oh, wow, I didn't know Shaggy went over to the dark side.
Very evil.
Yes. Hey guys, just wanted to say thanks for doing the podcast that brings me back to my childhood. Now, I stopped watching after the first few episodes of Turbo. I didn't see the Turbo movie until about a few years ago. I love the Super Sentai. Enjoy your favorite episodes and all the rants. Keep them coming, and yes, the interviews are awesome. Yes, we will have an announcement about a new interview at the end of the show this episode. And the last one is one of the best podcasts, if not the best. 5-star review left on February 29th, 2012 by Metalingus MCR54. Mike and Scotty are doing a great show and taking us back to our childhoods. After looking endlessly for a good podcast about Power Rangers, I found FTCC. They succeeded in passing all my expectations and have become my favorite podcasting duo. Linkara's review of the Super Sentai versions are always great, and they always make you want to look into the Sentai series. They might make a mistake now and then and slip up on a fact, but that's what makes the podcast fun. I find myself yelling at my iPod when I hear something wrong, but laugh and keep listening. Overall, it's a great listen, And anybody who loved Power Rangers as a kid or still do will love this podcast. My only complaint is that too much time passes between shows, but I understand that they live busy lives and schedules always change. Keep up the good work. Yeah, it's not even the fact that Scotty and I have really busy schedules with, Scotty's married, he's got kids, and he's got an actual life, whereas I have no life and I podcast all the time. I run a podcasting network of 20 plus podcasts. I mean, obviously not all 20 are recording weekly, but, we have other shows that we have to record. Plus, watching 40 episodes of a TV series, it just can't be done in under a month. At least for me, it can't be done in under a month because it just can't. I found myself, as much as I like Lightspeed Rescue, I found myself having a very hard time watching more than 2 episodes per day in the last 30 days.
Yeah, that's about what I did. I watched about two or 3 episodes a day. I've been going to the gym every day, and it's hard to watch it on my phone while I'm running, but I usually get on the elliptical for about 35 minutes and usually get an episode and a half in. So
yeah.
So, it's kind of. I don't want to say I'm a closet Power Ranger fan, obviously, but it's hard to watch that while there's like a smoking hot chick walking around in like a
exactly
tank top. I'm just kind of like.
Exactly.
This isn't my Power Ranger phone.
Yeah. The thing of it is, and it's good that in the next few seasons that we kind of we'll go down by 2 episodes. A lot of the next couple seasons are 38 episodes and stuff like that. So, but I mean, it's just that's what we set out to do in the beginning was have an episode every month. Or, when time, sometimes life gets in the way. And there was a time where the show was on hiatus for a while, but it takes us a month to get all the stuff done. It just does. I know you guys want it, faster and faster and more frequently, but that's the schedule we started with, and that's the schedule that we're going to keep. Because it's too damn long. I mean, I'm sure... There's probably only one season that I will probably have done within 2 weeks. And that is probably going to be Dino Thunder, because I absolutely love that series.
Yep. I agree. And it's I don't know. It's hard to it's hard to find time to sit down for 25 minutes per episode. You know what I mean? I watch a lot of Netflix on my phone.
Yeah.
On the way to work, which I know is illegal, but it's like usually I'm like listening to it unless something is major happening, and then I kind of just glance over when if there's nobody in front of me, so I don't have to slam my brakes on or whatever. You know what I mean? But
that's what they make car holsters for, so you can just set the phone in a holster.
Well, that's what I do. It just sits on my dashboard.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But we appreciate all the positive reviews. Thank you to everybody who's left us positive reviews in iTunes. Not much else is really going on. I mean, like I said, I've just been podcasting as always. We've got 3. By the time, we'll have, but by the end of March, we will have 4 interviews in total so far for this year for Geekcast Radio Network. We've already talked with John Delancey, who was Q in Star Trek. We talked with Lauren Lester, who was the voice of Robin in Batman the Animated Series, and then we're going to be talking with a new Power Ranger interview, which I said will be revealed at the end of this show.
Snap.
Yep. And I'm also going to be talking with Dan Gilvazan, the voice of Spider-Man and Bumblebee, later on this month as well. So that'll be pretty awesome.
Which Spider-Man? From which cartoon or whatever?
Amazing Spider-Man and Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, and he also did the 2099 Spider-Man in Shattered Dimensions.
Yeah, I seen that. Who was the guy that did Robin's voice? Didn't he do Nightwing's voice too?
Yeah, it's the same character.
Yeah, I seen that. I need to listen to that because Robin is probably my second or third favorite DC character.
Cool.
So I'll probably listen to that just so I can hear him talk.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome talking to him. So,
That's cool.
yes.
Well, anyway, back to Power Rangers.
Yes, back to Power Rangers and getting into Lightspeed. It came out in 2000. It is the, let's see, franchise.
I thought it was 2001.
No. Simply called Lightspeed is the 2000 incarnation of Power Rangers, TV franchise based on the Super Sentai series Go-Go 5. It was the first incarnation of Power Rangers to have the Rangers' identities to be known to the public from the onset, as opposed to previous incarnations where Rangers' identity was to be kept secret, revealed only in extreme circumstances. Let's see, what else do we have here?
Before we get any farther, did you like that?
Oh, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was about damn time.
Yeah.
I thought they should have done that starting in space. When we talked about space, and when we got to Lost Galaxy last month, I thought Lost Galaxy was the one that did that. I didn't realize that it wasn't until now. I wish they would have done that three series ago at this point.
Right. I will have to disagree. But it just because that's just my opinion. It's more entertaining for me if their identity is kept a secret. It's easier to do a bunch of episodes or a bunch of series where they're superheroes where their identity is kept a secret. If you had 2 or 3 in a row where everybody knew who they were, it would just kind of be like, you know what I mean? I think at this point you would be like, I don't know. And then if when it's kept a secret, you can do a lot of episodes where they're almost finding out who they are or stuff like that.
Yeah, but see, with Power Rangers, at least with the American version of Power Rangers, from MMPR to space, you had Bulk and Skull and Bulk
I'm
and
glad
Professor.
They're gone.
Well, no, I know that, but I'm just saying, we've had, the reason why I like them not having a secret identity in Lightspeed is because we've had the secret identity for the past 7 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
We've had all those stories. We've had people trying to figure out who the Power Rangers are. I was sick of it, and I was glad that, they basically just came out and said. And the other thing about this series being the one that has them publicly known as Power Rangers is that they're a part of a military establishment. I mean, they're part of the military essentially. So that in and of itself makes it better that their identities are not kept a secret, because you can't, sneak around a military base, trying to hide the fact that you wear a pink leotard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Continue on, sir.
Let's see. Okay. Zords and weapons were man-made and had no mystical or extraterrestrial origin whatsoever. Lightspeed Rescue also had, for the first time, a Power Ranger with no Super Sentai counterpart in the Titanium Ranger. Now, I absolutely love this. I've been waiting for a truly, American-created Ranger. And I really like the story that Lightspeed told with Captain Mitchell, Dana, and Ryan. I thought that was a really great story.
Absolutely. That was the best 6th Ranger in a long time. Because there was actually like a story. You know what? And I'm kind of sad that they didn't drag it out more. It was only like 2 episodes long. And they could have definitely... I mean, there was a lot of standalone episodes that were a waste of time. And they could have put this in to a 3, 4, 5-part miniseries and just blew it out of the water. Just made it awesome. It was good, except for the final part where Ryan tackled his dad and they were automatically over the edge of that same branch. That was a little extreme. But besides that, the story was good.
Right. And the thing about that is, even though the origin of Ryan and, the backstory of Ryan and all that, even though that only took maybe 2.5, 3 episodes, you then have the story of, hey, Diabolico fucked me up, put a cobra on my back, and I have to get rid of this curse. So you had that part of the story. And then after that, once he got rid of the curse, you had him searching for a way to entrap the demons again. So, I mean, it did continue throughout the series, even though it wasn't just a sole 5-parter. I'm glad that they didn't really do... I mean, they did multi-parters here, but there was only like 1 or 2, 2-parters. And it was, this series stands on its own so much that I just prefer in this specific series that there weren't a lot of multi-parters, even though I love those kinds of stories, because this series, yes, as you said, it does have a few standalones, but the series as a whole is an entire story.
Right. Yeah.
Let's see. There's not as there was no regular 6 Ranger in Go-Go 5. It is the last Saban-produced Power Rangers series to feature the main villain in its Super Sentai counterpart. The next series to feature the main villain in its Super Sentai counterpart would be the Disney-produced Power Rangers Mystic Force, which premiered 6 years later. Blah.
Well, yeah, you could tell that. Well, no, you couldn't tell because it wasn't that obvious. But after I heard that there was no Titanium Ranger in the Sentai series, you could then tell that, oh, definitely, because he was gone a lot doing his own thing, not in the battles, and you could tell like from the footage looked like old ass Sentai footage, as opposed to when Ryan was in there, it was like, I won't say HD, but it was like, almost like HD compared to some of the old crap that, the Sentai was using. It was just like grainy, there was Chinese people running around everywhere, and it's like, oh, Ryan's in the picture, and everyone's American. So it's just like, you could tell that, that's why he was off doing his own thing. But I loved his outfit. Absolutely loved his outfit. I loved his morpher. The Titanium Ranger was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was. I remember watching this series when it first aired, but I only watched up to the point of the Cobra episodes, and I never, this whole month that we've been watching this through to get prepared for this episode, this is the first time I had ever seen the end of the series, because after the Cobra episodes back in 2000, I just kind of lost it. It wasn't that I disliked the series back then. I was just like, oh, okay, that story's over. What else is on, what's on TV next? What's on after this?
Did you like the Cobra thing?
Oh, yeah, I thought that was a great part of the storyline.
See, I thought it was just kind of cheesy because, if it was that easy to put a Cobra on him, why wouldn't you just put a Cobra on all of the Rangers over and over and over? I mean, I know, obviously, it's just a television show, and that wouldn't make for very fun, but it was kind of like, oh, hey, look, Cobra on your back. There was nothing to it, you know what I mean?
Well, see, that's the thing about this series, though, is each of the Rangers has their own storyline. As far as, Carter has the whole thing with Captain Mitchell being the fireman that saved him. Kelsey has her grandmother thing with, all that. Chad has, he fell in love with a mermaid. Dana is trying to live up to what her father wants her to be. And then she has that stupid episode where she just goes completely off character in, oh God, what's the name of the stupid episode?
I know what you're talking about, where she wants to be like a fashion model or whatever.
Fashion model, yeah.
In the Limelight.
Limelight, that's what it was. And then you have Joel, who in the beginning is the biggest douchebag in the history of Power Rangers.
I gotta disagree.
Why? In the very beginning,
Joel, by far from the get-go, is my favorite Ranger.
Wow.
This is a series where I could care less about the crappy go to church every Sunday and even Wednesdays and sometimes Thursday mornings Red Ranger. I don't mind Carter. He is a good Red Ranger because he was never scared of anything. He didn't really have any fears that he had to overcome. There was times where there was a giant or a giant anything, and he was like, well, I don't have my Zords, so I'm just going to run at you with my sword.
Yeah.
And it's like, he's definitely a badass. But he's just like, meh. He's just like, he's flavorless, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what the word I'm looking for here, but Joel, the Sky Cowboy, was you know, and obviously they made the character that way, but I loved his character and how stupid he was and how cheesy he was. Like after the episode where they had amnesia and they're like, "Oh, I got this training course for you," and he's like, "Oh, hey, I don't know where I am. You know, I lost my memory again."
Yeah. But that was like towards the middle of the series, almost towards the end of that. You know, that was where he was actually getting to have actual character development. In the very beginning, he is this cocky kid who thinks he's God's gift to women.
Oh, you talking about like Operation Lightspeed?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Like the first 10 episodes in the series is where he's the biggest douchebag in the world. He's constantly screwing up and missing, you know, almost missing the SUV going out of the base because he's trying to impress Miss Fairweather. By the end of the series, I did come to like Joel, but in the beginning, he's just a total dickhead.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess. And there's always, I guess not always, but there's usually a ranger like that that's kind of on their self. But they probably got a lot of flack from that, and that's why they changed him to be the way it was. Because then he was kind of like a slappy kind of. Nah, I won't say slappy because that's definitely not the right word.
Slapstick.
No, because he was a way more of a likable character. But I picked up from Joel from the beginning, and I just liked Joel from the very beginning on. You know, because I know what you're talking about. There was that episode where he was like, "Look, I'm just gonna do this with my flying machine," and she's like, "No, you can't do that." You know, Miss Fairweather was like, "No, don't do that. You know, it's not ready for that." And he's like, "No, I'm gonna do it anyway. I can do it." And they're like, "Listen, you idiot.
Yeah.
You can't do that. The machine is not ready for that."
Yeah.
So, oh, and by the way, Miss Fairweather, definitely hot.
Oh yes, Miss Fairweather was definitely hot.
And she got even hotter at the very end when she didn't have her glasses and let her hair down and everything. I didn't think that was possible, but she sure was.
Oh yes. What do you think of the 5 Rangers outfits?
I gotta be honest, I actually really like them. I've read a lot of stuff. I've heard different people's videos about like their figures, and a lot of people hate their outfits. For whatever reason, what they are, it reminds me of some kind of like a rescue symbol, especially the Red Ranger, especially Carter's outfit. Kind of reminds me of a rescue like badge. Yeah. So, you know, and that's what they are. You know, at first I hated it when it was like, oh, here we go again. The stupid Rangers are running out doing Rescue 911 and giving people CPR and bringing people from buildings. But then I stopped and kind of thought, you know what? They're kind of like, that's what they are. They are a rescue team that just happens to fight monsters also. So I started liking it then, and, you know, and I was kind of like, you know, how come they haven't saved nobody for a while? You know what? I'm sure there's a building on fire or something somewhere. But yeah, I like their outfits.
Yeah, out of the last.
Well, do you like their outfits?
Yeah, I do, but I'm gonna get to that in a second.
Okay.
Out of the last 3 series, and I'm not counting the MMPR morphers and not morphers. I'm not counting the MMPR outfits. Out of the last 3 series, Space, Galaxy, and then this. These are the outfits I like the best because they, to me, are the most unique. Because essentially what you have here is, in the morphing sequence, they're basically throwing a beach ball. It's coming back at them and absorbing. It's like fabric absorbing over their bodies or something. I thought that was a really cool, fun way to have a morphing sequence instead of just press a button, show some DNA, or press a button and show a Charlie Brown symbol, or, you know, something like that.
I agree. I definitely agree with that. It's definitely better than the last 2. In Space kind of reminds me of Turbo. It wasn't too much different. And then Lost Galaxy was the only thing I can think of when I see Lost Galaxy is that red outfit running like an idiot.
Yeah.
And that's all I can see every time I think of that outfit. I like their outfits okay on Lost Galaxy, but I just can't get that running out of my head.
Yeah. And then the Titanium Ranger's outfit was so unique. And what I love about this, actually, I was watching Linkara's History of Power Rangers on this on Lightspeed, he said that it actually makes sense that the Rangers' helmets this time don't have that stupid mouthpiece. You
Who's
know how you
Linkara?
have like you have molded lips on a lot of the other ones.
I noticed that. Who's
Right.
Who's Linkara?
Linkara is the guy that does the History of Power Rangers videos I've tried to get you to watch.
Linkara. How do you
Linkara.
spell that?
I'll get you a link in a second.
Okay.
Um, but he pointed out that it makes sense that these Power Rangers do not have the molded mouth because they're essentially part of a military unit, and their helmets are essentially visors. And their visors can retract to show their faces.
Well, what does that have to do with anything?
I like the style of the helmets, is what I'm saying.
But what? Well, because they don't
pointed it out. When
they
I
don't
was
have mouthpieces because they're in the military?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any
Because
sense.
No, what he was saying was it makes sense to not use a molded mouth helmet because you're in the military. You want to get as much protection as possible on your face.
Okay, I got you.
So,
Okay. I see.
yes. Do you have a favorite out of the 6 if you had to pick one?
Joel? Probably Joel. I really like Ryan, but I probably have to run with Joel.
Yeah.
Except for on that last episode where he had that goofy ass white shirt on and that I mean I liked his cowboy hat, but I wish it would have stopped at that, because at that last episode I was like, what in God's name are you wearing?
Oh, the shirt and tie.
Oh, dude.
At the end of the last episode, you mean?
Yeah, it wasn't a tie. It was
He was finally going on his date with Merriweather.
right, and he wore that the worst thing ever. It was like, it wasn't a tie. It was like it's like a cowboy tie. It's like 2 strings and you pull up like you finally get a date with this chick after you've been chasing her for 40 episodes and that's what you wear? Seriously? Somebody needed to have a sit down with him.
Well, yeah. For me, I would probably pick Ryan overall. I did like Carter and a lot of his basically gung-ho and just go out and get the job done. But I thought Ryan's storyline was probably the best, and he had the best overall character development, I think. I mean, you see character development here and there through, Kelsey and Chad, where they're friends with each other, and Kelsey has this whole thing with her grandmother, and Chad has this whole, Romeo and Juliet forbidden love with Neptune's daughter thing, and
I thought that Chad, I didn't even know Chad's name until like, I don't know, halfway through the season, because I kept going like, what's that guy's name? Like the Blue Ranger just got no love. I mean, it was just like, he finally got a couple episodes, but I was starting to think like he'd done something to piss somebody off because he's not getting any kind of love. But yeah. But not getting too far ahead, I love the way the first episode, how the Rangers came about. Like they had been, I wish they would have done it a little bit more, because they're like, we've been looking for you guys for a long time, and I like, Joel walking away was kind of reminding me of the first Power Rangers when they're like, yeah, right, monsters, okay, we're out of here, what I mean? But I really liked how there was, they got the folders out and they're like, it's time, go get them. We've been watching these people. It kind of reminded me of Samurai, where, they've been trained since they were little, but of course, Lightspeed Rescue didn't know that they had been being watched. So I really liked how they did that.
Right. They didn't know that they were being watched. But again, you got to look at this series as a military, as the military would look at it, because essentially they've been recruited their entire lives to do this job.
Right.
Those 5 people were, that was their, I guess you could say, destiny, with, going with a word from Samurai, but that was their calling to be a part of this military operation. I did overall get a feel for the series that it reminded me so much of, I don't know if you've ever seen this series. It was on NBC back in the 90s. Sequest DSV.
No.
It's basically a series on NBC. It's a sci-fi series on NBC that back in the day where they were aboard the Sequest, a sub that would basically go around and investigate different things. And the whole Aqua Base thing kind of reminded me of that a little bit. Their allies in this series are Captain William Mitchell, who is Dana's father and the commander of the unit, Dana and Ryan's dad, Angela Fairweather. I know I said Merriweather earlier. I must have been getting it crossed with Sleeping Beauty.
I was going to correct you, but then I thought about that guy going, yeah, you missed a fact, so I just let it go.
Yeah. And the Galaxy Power Rangers make an appearance, and then in the next season, because next season that we'll do is Time Force, so they list the Time Force Rangers as being allies for these guys as well. Let's talk about the Galaxy Rangers. God.
Of course they show up and what do? They F and run right out of the gate, dude. I'm like, are you kidding me?
They do, but they don't all show up at once. Leo shows up first. The Kendricks and what's her name? Maya show up, and then it's Kendricks and Kai show up.
Yeah, where'd Kendricks come from?
Well, she was alive, remember? She came back to life at the end of Lost Galaxy.
No, she was still a ghost, I thought.
No, at the end of Lost Galaxy.
Well, either way, because she gets to come back, Corone's gone?
I don't know. At the end of Lost Galaxy, when they freed Miranoi from the Stone Curse and they put the Galaxy Sabers back in the stones, Kendricks came back to life.
I'm gonna have to rewatch that.
You're gonna have to go back and rewatch the last episode.
I thought she was just like a ghost, like on Star Wars, where it's kind of like Yoda and like Obi-Wan and Kendricks.
She came back to life. And I have no idea where Corona is. So you have Leo show up first. You have Kendricks and Kai show up, and then you have Damon and Maya show up. First of all, and I don't know, people can write in if they want to email me, tfg1mike@gmail.com. If they want to comment on the PCN forums, they can do so over at popculturenetwork.com. And let me know, because I'm not sure about this. The whole time I was watching them in the suits, Leo's voice did not match the actor whatsoever.
There was times where definitely I was like, that doesn't sound like him. It sounded like Carlos from In Space.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, that sounds nothing like Leo.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was him, right? He was there.
He was there in his human form, but I think they overdubbed his voice.
Well, they had a whole season. They had a whole season of voiceovers they probably should have tried to use.
Yeah. I believe, and I could be wrong about this, I again, going back to watching Linkara's video, Linkara mentioned that originally the Lost Galaxy cast was supposed to get a movie, which they never did. And Trakina's Revenge was supposed to be like, hey, this is supposed to be this big thing. And the Trakina's Revenge two-parter honestly did not need two parts. It really didn't.
Yeah.
It's probably one of, at least to this point, this is the only... wait a second, didn't the... Yeah, we had a team-up last season. At this point, out of the two team-ups, this is the worst out of the two.
It just like it starts with like Leo pulling the sword out, and it's like, really, just out of nowhere, this is what happens.
Yeah.
But I thought it was kind of no. Let me find the right phrase here. I thought it was kind of lame, extremely lame, maybe. That she was like, "You're Leo, the Red Ranger." But how shocked she was when they wanted her to be a Power Ranger. It's like, I've never even heard of this Power Ranger stuff. Are you guys making this up?
Yeah.
But all of a sudden she knew that Leo was the Red Ranger, but maybe once they made her a Power Ranger, she went back and
looked through the archives. Yeah. The problem I have with the Trakina's Revenge two-parter is the fact that Amy Miller did not reprise the role. It's a completely different actress.
Yes, that is correct. Like, she didn't want to do it, or was she sick, or she quit, or what?
I'm not sure. Let me look down here and see what we've got on the information. Let's see. I know this is lovely. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, in addition to Lightspeed Rescue, featured a reunion appearance of the characters from Power Rangers Lost Galaxy when the villainous Trakina comes to Earth to destroy it, and the Lightspeed Rangers team up with the Galaxy Rangers. However, in Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue, it was revealed that she had survived and managed to return to her human form, though is now horribly disfigured. She then made her way to Earth, planning to obtain her revenge on the Rangers by destroying their homeworld. She acquired the allegiance of the demon Tri-Skull and his army of ghouls, collecting energy to return her to her insectoid form. To do that, she captured humans to drain their life force. So essentially, she pulled a Hordak from Secret of the Sword.
Yeah.
Leo teamed up with the Lightspeed Rescue Power Rangers in an attempt to stop her. However, Olympius tainted the energy with a poison dagger, causing Trakina to mutate into a gigantic monster. Despite the help of the Galactic Beasts and the Galaxy and Lightspeed Rangers, were unable to stop her until the Omega Megazord became infused with the lights of Orion. Trakina was then permanently destroyed. Trakina is the first human villain to be destroyed, unlike other human villains from previous seasons, were turned good by Zordon's energy. Trakina was played by Avi Miller in Lost Galaxy and Jennifer Burns in Lightspeed Rescue. It does not say why the change. It was probably a schedule. I think the only person to this point that left because of medical reasons for themselves was Valerie Vernon, the lady that played Kendricks.
Yeah.
I know that in past seasons others have left due to other circumstances, but I'm not sure why they did the change over. I have no clue. Let's get into the villains. Queen Manshira, Prince Olympius / Impus, Diabolico, Vipra, Loki, Jinxer, the Batlings, the Ghouls, the Cyborg Rangers. Queen Manshira, what did you think of her?
She was all right. I mean, I don't know. She could have been a lot more badass, because the way they were building her up, she was going to be badass, but she wasn't. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, Prince Olympius, I really did like him, and how, you know what I did like? I did like the Queen, because there was times where she was like when Prince Olympius got sent to that dark world or whatever.
The Shadow Realm, yeah.
The Shadow Realm, and he was like, Diabolico was like, yeah, that's my bad. And she was like, oh, well, if he's weak enough to let you do it, then, you know, pretty much screw him. And I was just like, now that is a villain. You know, like, she don't even care about her son that they've been talking about for 15 episodes. And now it's like, yeah, you're gone.
Yeah.
What'd you think of her?
Yeah. They had all this build-up, and then she just became another monster. Yep. I mean, that's really all it was. And I mean, that's the staple of any Power Rangers series. Every single villain transforms into this giant thing by the end, and obviously the Rangers have to come up with a way to defeat it. I liked Olympius. He was okay. He had some decent plans. I loved the episode Olympius Unbound, where Jinxer basically hypnotizes Captain Mitchell and basically is using the Lightspeed aqua-based energy to fuel Olympius. I thought that was a great plan.
Yeah. And then what's his name throws him in the closet and locks the door.
Yeah. That was funny. Diabolico reminds me of Ecliptor from In Space.
Yeah.
He kind of has the loyalty gimmick, and he's a really great fighter. Mm-hmm. I thought he was very, very well done. Vipra can just go to hell. It doesn't matter.
She was terrible, dude. She was definitely...
I am Vipra in my Vipari. What the hell is a Vipari? Oh my god, that's going to be the worst name for a vehicle I've ever heard.
Oh, you talking about her go-kart?
Yeah.
Mario Kart. Yeah, that was terrible. But I wanted to touch on Diabolical real quick.
Go ahead.
He was by far my favorite villain,
Yeah.
especially when his friend died, and he was like, you know what? I'm not good or bad. I'm me, and I'm fighting against you because you killed my friend.
Yeah.
What was his name? Loki.
Loki. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Loki.
Loki.
However
But
you pronounce
yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah, Vipra was. She was. How bad was she at acting? Oh my God.
Very bad.
Dude, she had to be related to somebody. She was definitely a producer's niece or something because she was awful. Was she American, or was that Sentai footage? Because it looked like she was talking American words. You know, it didn't look like it was dubbed over.
I don't think it was dubbed over, so
No, I think it was she was shot like an American. If that's making any sense whatsoever.
Loki is essentially
I called him Loki.
Loki. Well, yeah, Loki, whatever.
It's Loki.
Yeah, essentially he is. He's a stupid Goldar. I mean, you know, he's essentially a Rito / Goldar type of character. He's that type of character where he is stupid loyal and will do anything, but his plans always fail.
Yeah.
I didn't dislike the character, but at the same time, I didn't like. He wasn't like my favorite.
Yeah, he's very forgettable.
Yeah,
You know, without Diabolico, he's kind of forgettable
oh yeah.
at best.
Jinxer reminds me of Finster a lot.
Exactly like Finster. He's a tall, skinny Finster.
Yeah. The only thing I hated about Jinxer is the constant rhymes to get the monsters to grow.
See, I liked that because it was different. You know what I mean? Some of them were terrible, but
that's why I don't like it, is because some of them were god awful, and after 15 episodes, I didn't want to hear any more rhymes. I mean, it's like, God, just throw the card and be done with it. What did we have last season? We had the oh God, what were they? What were the putties from last year? Or not last year, last month.
I don't remember.
Was it the Stingwingers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Batlings are 10 times better than the Stingwingers.
Yeah. Not the ghouls though, because the ghouls are lame. I like the Batlings.
The Batlings are essentially, because I really paid attention to how they fought in the beginning of the series as they progressed throughout the series. In the beginning, they're essentially black ninja suited putties that actually have a resemblance of a face. By the end of the series, that's Jinxer actually says, I have no more monster cards. I only have this one Batling card. And it surprised me how well they made the Batlings look at the end battles as far as actually being able to fight versus, hey, I'm just going to hit this Z on your chest.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And thank God he threw that last card on the Megazord for no random ass reason. But, hey, how about them Cyborg Rangers?
That was, oh God, that was so stupid.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that. Dude, I love that episode.
That was so stupid.
No, dude, it was all, they sent them home. They did the whole, you know what, they don't need us anymore. They go evil. One of the Rangers is like, no, forget that. They don't need us. The other one talks them into it. It's like a whole, I just love that story. And I liked how lightning is what killed them or whatever to fry their circuit board. I really did like that episode. That was probably my favorite episode that was a standalone episode.
I don't like them because of the simple fact that it's the higher ups. It's the brass of the military operation coming in and thinking that they know best and that robots are going to be able to do a better job than a human is. Because robots, you have to program them, you have to, in this case of the Cyborg Rangers, you had to actually have a human control them.
Which was so stupid.
It was so stupid. And, the whole thing is, I know it's an excuse about, oh, they don't have a heart, and that's a lame excuse, but that's what makes a Power Ranger, is that they have heart, they have all these strong qualities that qualify them, and one of the reasons why I thought, yes, I like the way that the Cyborg Rangers looked, I love the way that their effects were and the way they fought, but as far as a storyline, it sucked.
Yeah.
Going on to the arsenal, I have a huge problem with the Rescue Morphers.
Why? Because they were extremely lame?
No, it's not even that. Okay, if you're in a battle with let's say a 3 foot taller than you monster, and I'm not even talking about when they grow. I'm talking about just regular size to the Power Rangers, but essentially they're 3 feet taller than what an actual height of a Ranger is. You're telling me that you're going to have time to sit there and look at your morpher before pressing the button and the actual activation actually happens. I actually counted out. It was like every morphing sequence for the first 10 episodes, before they touch the button, it's like 5 seconds pass. In 5 seconds, a villain would knock you on your ass.
Mm-hmm.
The morpher, I've never, there have only been a few morphers that I really care about. Tommy's Dragon Zord morpher was kind of cool, specifically his weapon for the Dragon Dagger. His morpher in Dino Thunder is cool, but morphers for me never really got me that excited. They're an accessory that makes the Rangers morph. That's all it's there for.
I liked In Space's morpher. The wrist, 335.
Yeah.
I liked their morpher all right. It was a little big, but I liked how it was. I really did.
Yeah. The titanium morpher I did like. I thought that was great. Again,
it looked awesome.
Yeah, it looked awesome. It looked really super cool. Again, the problem I have is how long it takes the guy to press the damn button. Because in that time, you could get your ass knocked down and lights out. The battle boosters are just an additional ripoff of the in-space morpher almost, because it's like 5, 5, 6.
Battleizer.
Activate. Yeah.
Yeah. It was stupid. I don't know. Besides the two morphers, I wasn't a fan of any of their weapons, not whatsoever. Yeah. Not even a little bit.
No, I mean they just the V Lancers looked really cool, but they didn't really do anything. The Rescue Bird was so stupid looking.
Yes.
It was. I think the only weapon I actually liked was the titanium laser, because it was also a gun. It was a gun and an axe. I mean, it's kind of going back to Lightspeed, where you had not Lightspeed. Shit, this is Lightspeed. It's going back to Lost Galaxy, where you had the Magna Defender had an axe or a sword and a gun. So I like that whole 2 weapons in one thing.
Yeah.
The Mega Battle Armor, no. Just no.
Which one was that? Is that where they had the giant suit?
Mega Battle Armor, designed by Miss Fairweather and her brother Clark, activated by entering 861 into the battle booster. The Mega Battle Armor equips the Green Ranger with a buzzsaw and
that was terrible.
Ice cannon.
That was terrible.
Yeah, that was kind of silly. The Rescue Rover, the Humvee of the series.
I liked it. I
thought that was kind of cool, yeah.
Okay, this is what you're talking about here, though. Your boy, what's his name? Linkara, yeah. Linkara talks about how you have a visor over your face for protection.
Right.
But yet they drive around in a Humvee with no doors, no top. It's like... I don't want to bring up, the past here, but and did they see the assassination of Kennedy, where it was just like, you know what I mean? He was just, They didn't have no top, and it, boom, done. It could have been easy as that.
I can't believe you just compared the assassination of President Kennedy to Power Rangers.
Hey, Carter was a pretty good guy.
Oh my God!
What was the
Lightspeed cycles and the Trends armor cycle are both I've never liked motorcycles in Power Rangers. I just never have.
Dude, they love putting those in there.
I know they love putting them in there. I just never liked it.
No, they're lame. Super lame.
Yeah. And the final one is the Mobile Armor Vehicle, which is essentially Carter's plane, which is kind of dumb.
It's not quite as dumb as the Trans Armor Cycle, though. Because Fairweather built this bike, and he's like, I can't do it. It's not ready. I can't do it. It's not ready. And it kept knocking him off. It's like, you got to go through all that trouble for that?
Yeah.
Find something different.
Yeah, that's like, I prefer Leo's big-feeted battleizer in Lost Galaxy to the Trans Armor Cycle.
Yeah, I like that in Lost Galaxy. It wasn't too bad, just because it was different. It was like a giant boulder, instead of, oh, well, look, a dirt bike. Great.
Yeah. All right, so getting into the Zords. Oh my God, there are so many Zords in this series.
100.
Now I know you do not like vehicle Zords, but it does not make sense for a military operation to have animal Zords.
I agree.
It just
and
does
and
not
I liked some of these Zords. Maybe I'm just getting used to some of the Zords, but the train, what is it? The
Super Train Megazord.
Super Train Megazord absolutely looked amazing. Yeah, I loved it, but my favorite by far was the Life Force Megazord. I wish they would have saved that more towards the end, but I liked how it was like, I don't know, they could have made a bigger deal out of, if we use our Life Force to power this Megazord, maybe we'll have enough. But it was kind of like, that's how it was from the get-go. It's like, use your Life Force. You know what I mean? They just could have done a little bit more with that.
I wish they never even had the Life Force Megazord. Like, I like the design of the thing, but the fact that haven't we learned I know, this is an entirely separate series, but haven't we learned our lesson in Power Rangers history when the Life Force of the person is tied to your, power coin or morpher or whatever, you're going to die if the life... That's what I never understood about the Life Force Megazord is, if it's taking energy from them, essentially they should pass out inside that Zord. Sorry.
That's what I'm talking about, Mike, is like, they used this, for no good reason when they could have saved it. It's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's such a big deal that it's sucking them dry, but that's what they would go to. That's what they would go to do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, they're willing to sacrifice their lives, their powers to destroy this final villain, but instead they just used it, 3/4 of the way through, and then it got destroyed. Actually, it was ran by the Batlings for a while, which was just idiotic.
Well, no, actually, that all happened at the end. I mean, it was like the last 3 episodes of the series.
That's what I'm saying, though. But they took it over, which was stupid.
Right, and I agree with you because first of all, the Batlings are not alive. They're,
right.
It would make no sense that they could run that Zord. Like, I could see if the Batlings took over the Super Train, or if they took over the Omega Megazord, or if they took over the Rail Rescues, or something like that. But the Life Force Megazord is supposed to be from the Power Rangers Life Force.
Right, and there was also an episode where the Batlings, took over some people's vehicles. And I was like, stop. These people are, like, goons. These are idiots. And you're going to tell me that they know how to drive vehicles? Cut that out. No.
Oh my God. I love this series overall, but just some of the stuff just makes you want to go, huh?
Yeah.
So I think without any more further ado, we're going to head over to Spada and see what he has to say about the Sentai series, Go-Go 5.
Hello everyone, and this is Spada the Bolt Matrix, and today we are talking about Go-Go 5. QQ Sentai Go-Go 5 is the 23rd entry into the long-running Super Sentai series. Airing from February 21st, 1999 to February 6, 2000, it proved to be an extremely popular show among older fans due to its much darker tone. Also, this was the first Super Sentai series in a while to be ported over to the US, with pretty much the entire story left largely intact. The Grand Witch Grenadine has been waiting patiently to invade our reality. She set up her invasion date to coincide with the planetary Grand Cross, but during the event, Go-Go 5 interrupted her ritual, and she became trapped halfway between the realities. Having failed, she ordered her 4 children to gather all the negative energy from humanity in order to complete the ritual and allow her to fully enter our reality. 10 years prior to the Grand Cross, Dr. Mondo Tatsumi, founder of the Tatsumi Disaster Prevention Institute, predicted this event, but nobody believed him. In order to protect humanity, Dr. Tatsumi left his family and went into hiding so he could secretly develop the rescue system. Dr. Tatsumi then reappears in 1999 and gives his children the means to save the world as the Go-Go 5. Dr. Tatsumi's children are all members of the Capital City Fire Department, but each works in a different section. Go-Go Red is part of the Rescue Division, Blue works in the Chemistry Division, Green is a member of the Aviation Department, Yellow is a sergeant in the Capital City Police Department, and Pink is a paramedic at the National Seaside Hospital. It's interesting to note how this lines up with just about all the members of Lightspeed Rescue, save for Yellow, which is nowhere near the same. The team's equipment, arsenal, and mecha were all ported over to the American edition, save for the team's jackets while unmorphed. Those jackets were bright orange and were made from all-weather jackets. It really should be pointed out that in Japan, the color of orange is used to denote rescue vehicles and their operators. Also, the morphing sequence is completely different, but was used in Power Rangers sometimes. It pretty much just shows them clad in their neon colors, and then they wave a flag over their head, and that's about it. Another major difference between the two shows was the lack of a 6th Ranger in Go-Go 5. The Titanium Ranger didn't exist in Japan. The only thing resembling a 6th member appeared in Go-Go 5, the movie, named Demon Hunter Sig. He was the last of a people who were wiped out by the movie's villain, and he wanted revenge. So of course he was killed within the first half hour, and transfers his powers to one of the side characters from the show. The villains themselves in Go-Go 5 were much more interesting. They acted more like a family, and they had squabbles like real brothers and sisters would, but ultimately they all loved each other a great deal. The only human-like villain was the evil Princess Deunus. She's also called Venus. It depends on which part of Japan you're in, depending on the dialect. We know her character as Vipera from Lightspeed Rescue. While the costumes were exactly the same, the major difference between Deunus and Vipera was that the actress playing Deunus was actually a capable performer and pulled off the role of a much more cruel and psychotic individual. Deunus was by far the cruelest of the siblings. Being gifted in the art of disguise, she would often use that ability to cause havoc and obtain information. She was also the only one of the siblings to specifically target friends and family of the Rangers in order to lure them out and hurt them, instead of just attacking the Rangers in a silver dune buggy. Another difference is that she sacrificed herself near the end of the series so that her older brother could be reborn. That's a lot different than in Lightspeed Rescue, when she was pretty much eaten by the main villainess. Go-Go 5 was very well received by older fans, but younger fans had trouble getting into the show. That was due in part to the show having a much more somber tone than Sentai's of recent years. The series dealt with such issues as abandonment, abuse, sacrifice, family arguments, and even the death of children. The show really pulled no punches, and fans loved it, specifically the older fans. Now, Go-Go 5 was a long-running series of about 51 episodes plus the movie, and it really did well for Japan, and it also ported well over to the US with some slight tweaks into Lightspeed Rescue. So, I have been Spade of the Bolt Matrix. You can find me over at YouTube at www.youtube.com/BoltMatrix, and look me up at Twitter at twitter.com/BoltMatrix. Now, back to the command center.
Thank you, kind Sir Spada. I mean, I'm on the show, and that's still my favorite part of the show. You know, when Spada talks, it points me in the direction, do I need to go watch this series? And Spada was talking about how dark this series was and how how it wasn't really a kid series, it was more of an adult series, and how adults absolutely love the series, and which is confusing to me because I just can't see how dark Rescue 911 can be. So to be honest, I'll probably go back and watch this Sentai version.
Yeah.
But Spade is the man. I love it. I love it when he does those.
Yep. When he emailed me the clip, he said, "I'm already working on Time Force." So I was like, "Oh, okay, cool," because Time Force is the next season that will be.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm actually extremely excited. I've actually watched 3 episodes of Time Force already because I got done with this about when did I text you 3, 4, 5 days ago?
Yeah, something like that.
And I was at the gym and I was like, just 1 episode, and then 1 episode turned into 2 episodes, and I'm like, this is going to be awesome.
Yeah, Time Force is awesome. I remember watching that on TV, but we'll get into that next month.
Yeah, we don't want to ruin it.
Do you have any favorite episodes from Lightspeed?
Let's see. Let me look down here. Cyborg Rangers is probably. I really did like that. I like that kind of stuff. The Ryan's Destinies were obviously good. I could really do without the Curse of the Cobras. Let's see. As time runs out was good.
Yeah.
Those are the only ones that really stick out to me.
Yeah. I liked Operation Lightspeed because it is the origin, and I liked how they all came together. And I like how in this one, compared to other series, that they directly say the Rescue Zords, because they're like, we've never operated this stuff before. We don't know how this works. And Miss Fairweather specifically said they will aid you as you go along. So it's kind of like a built-in instruction manual. So I like that with this series because it's something that we haven't had yet, because it's one of those things where every other series, it takes about 5 minutes for each ranger to learn their entire Zord.
Yeah, that goes hand in hand with all of their stuff. This is, I didn't even think of that, but yes, that is a very, very, very good point, because normally they know how to use their gun and their sword, and most of the time they're Morpher and their Zords right out of the gate. And yeah, now that you say that, that's all. Yeah, I definitely agree. That was awesome. But yes, Lightspeed, our Operation Lightspeed was amazing.
Yeah. I liked, I liked Olympias Unbound. Just because its characterization for Chad, I did like Neptune's daughter. I like all the different character episodes that they gave each ranger. Like, oh god, what's the one with Kelsey? I just had it here. The Fifth Crystal.
The Fifth Crystal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one character episode that I thought basically took away from this person's character was In the Limelight. Dana was never, that was episode 36. There was 4 episodes left in the series. Dana, up to that point, never showed interest in being a model.
Yeah,
that was taking her character backwards, in my opinion.
I gotta be honest. I watched Neptune's daughter, Web War, started watching The Limelight, then realized that they're not going to do anything with this yet, and I shut it off about 10 minutes in. I was like, this is stupid.
It is.
This is god-awful. So I didn't even watch it. So I click on Rise of the Super Demons, and go from there, and I'm like, do I need to go back and watch this? And apparently I did not, because the entire episode was trash.
It was. It's probably the worst episode out of the entire series.
Yeah. I liked Web War too. Web War was fun.
It's spiders. I don't like spiders.
Oh.
Not my thing. Fate of Lightspeed 2-parter to close the series was great. I thought that was a really... there are moments in that, as we mentioned earlier, with Jinxer and the Batlings taking over the Life Force Megazord that just don't make any sense, but the fact that it almost reminded me of the end of Alien Rangers, where you have Rito and Goldar and all those guys coming in to destroy the command center. Fate of Lightspeed kind of reminded me of that because you have this giant Megazord that the villains have taken over, destroying the Aqua base.
Yeah, I did. I will say this: I didn't like that Diabolico came out of nowhere and was a ghost to save the day. I thought it was kind of a cheap way out. You know, they could have done a lot of stuff, and you know, they did have me on the end of my seat. I was like, oh man, what are they gonna do? What is gonna happen here? What's gonna happen? And it's like, oh, look at this. He's a ghost, and he saved the day. Like, nah, I don't really like that.
Moving on to the music of the series, what did you think of the theme song this time around?
This is what I'm going to start doing. The first time I hear the theme song, I'm going to write it down and what I think. And then as the season goes, you know, the first time I heard it, I thought not too bad. Right now, I again put it on my iPod, and I really like it. It really gets me. It gets me going. It's not a Zeo or a Mighty Morphin song, but it still is good. I don't mind it whatsoever.
Yeah, I thought it was really great. I thought it was it didn't necessarily have to tell the story of these 5 Rangers or 6 Rangers, but it basically tells you the story of, hey, this is an operation, this is Lightspeed Rescue, and this is the Power Rangers. And I thought that was great. They really there was music in the background, like for certain battles and stuff, but there really wasn't a lot of music in this series. Not that I noticed. I'm sure there is music in here, but I mean, half the time it's the instrumental version of the theme song where it kind of just, you know, pops up whenever the Rangers pop up.
Yeah. I kind of like that, how they do that. You know, the theme song is like your go-to song, so it's like, you know, when you hear that theme song, you kind of get the chills. You're kind of like, oh, here we go. You know, it's game time. It's time. You know, something's going to happen now. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that they do that. I'm glad they save it, you know, for that.
Yeah. Let's see. Do you have any, or are you planning on getting any Lightspeed toys?
You know what? It's funny you say that because I actually looked up the titanium morpher today, and there's like 2 on eBay, and they are god-awful prices, and it's definitely not that cool of a morpher to morphers are like antiques, dude. Yeah. The longer they're out, the more they're worth.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy. Like, man, it's crazy. Like, unless it's just trash, they just go for ungodly amounts of money.
Yeah, they do.
But I don't know. I liked the train Megazord,
the Super Train, yeah.
Super Train, but I don't think enough to
buy
it. Yeah, if I'm at a toy show, someone's got a good deal on it, it's complete, I'll absolutely pick it up. But I'm not going to pay eBay prices plus shipping.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're going to go ahead and go to a commercial break, and then we'll come back to close the show.
What it is, friends. Sweenholic here, inviting you to join me every Monday for Radical Retro Turtle Toy Talk. What's that, you ask? Radical Retro Turtle Toy Talk is my weekly video series in which we take a look at my favorite toy line of yesteryear, Vintage Playmates Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. If you're a green teen goer, I'm betting you'll have a great time getting reacquainted with old friends or meeting new ones for the first time. That's Radical Retro Turtle Toy Talk at www.radicalretro.com, part of the Pop Culture Network.
Are you a fan of Mattel's Masters of the Universe toy line? How about Princess of Power, New Adventures of He-Man, or 2000X Masters of the Universe? Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and my new show, Power and Honor, the World of Masters of the Universe Toys, takes a look at all of the above-mentioned lines. In every episode, I'll take a look at a different action figure, vehicle, or playset from the world of He-Man. It's a great place where you can reminisce about your favorite toys from the past, or even learn some things that you may not have already known. A new episode airs bi-weekly on He-Man.org and PopCultureNetwork.com. Swing by and check it out. Good journey.
You can now hear the Geekcast Radio Network while on the go with Stitcher Smart Radio. Stitcher is a free-use and talk mobile app available for your smartphone. And when you download Stitcher to hear Geekcast Radio, you'll have a chance to win money. Downloading is quick and easy. Just find Stitcher in the App Store. During registration, hit the promo code box and enter Geekcast Radio, all one word, to get automatically entered to win $100. The latest episodes of the shows will be waiting for you in your favorites. You'll get access to lots of other amazing shows too. Always available to you on demand, no syncing. It's Stitcher Smart Radio. Don't forget to enter promo code Geekcast Radio when you register.
Grab your helmets because it's time to assemble Mask. Coming April 10th, 2012, the Geekcast Radio Network launches Masked Mayhem with your hosts Optimus Solo and TFG1Mike. This podcast, covering all 75 episodes of Mask, will feature in-depth analysis of every episode, talk on the toys, and more. Masked Mayhem will run 30 podcast episodes. You can find us in iTunes and on www.geekcastradio.com. Get your spectrums ready, as podcasting is the ultimate weapon.
Do you like retro shows? Did you grow up in either the 80s or the 90s? Then tune into Telecast, geekcastradio.com's newest podcast. Join us here on the Telecast as we revisit some of your favorite shows, such as Clarissa Explains It All, Salute Your Shorts, Saved by the Bell, and much, much more, only on geekcastradio.com.
This is Karen Ashley, and you're listening to From the Command Center.
So we are back, and before we close out the show, we've got some more feedback from Chaotix12345 from the PC and boards. Lightspeed Rescue lacked strong villains and was pretty basic story. It did give us our only PR exclusive Rangers, though. Titanium Ranger for the win. In fact, his arc is easily the best part of the season. This season's team-up is weak sauce and focuses more on a little girl than an actual returning Rangers.
I totally agree. I remember that now.
Yeah, Trakina's revenge sucked. So thank you, Chaotix, for that. Next Wednesday, Scotty and I will be sitting down with none other than Mr. Adam Park himself, Johnny Young Bosch. We will be talking to Adam, not the original, but the second Black Ranger from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and then he went on to be the Green Ranger and whatever other color. He's the guy that didn't want to be the Frog.
And that's what he'll always be known as to me. I'm a frog. Hey, I just wanted to point something out real quick before we get done.
Yeah.
That episode, that the secretary lady that the little girl was talking to.
Oh yeah.
She says out loud, "We all know there's no such thing as monsters." Look, I love sports and I watch a ton of sports. And if it's not usually on ESPN, I don't know about it, unless I get to work and somebody's like, "Hey, did you hear about this?" I don't know what's going on in the world besides sports.
Yeah.
I think I would probably know that a lot of cities have been torn apart by giant monsters. Like, unless this lady just woke up from a coma that she went into when she was like 6 weeks old, get real, because that was terrible.
Yeah, it was.
That was we all know there's no such thing as monsters. Listen, you clearly are Amish and don't have a television or a radio because it's on there every single day.
I know. It's so bad. So, there you go. This episode, as always, will hopefully be up on the 11th of March, and the interview will be up as soon as I get it edited. As again, we're not recording that until next week. So that'll be awesome to talk with Mr. Johnny Young Bosch. Thank you for joining us here on From the Command Center. There's still ways to get in contact with us or leave feedback for the show. Visit the network websites, geekcastradio.com and popculturenetwork.com. Join the forums over at Pop Culture Network. Leave the show's feedback in iTunes. Please do this. Follow us on Twitter. Mine is TFG1Mike, and Scotty hates Twitter. Become a fan on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/geekcastradio network, and you can also search out popculturenetwork.com over there on Facebook. You can find the award-winning From the Command Center video series on PCN's YouTube channel, youtube.com/popculturenetwork. You can call our voicemail line, 502-526-5821. Please tell us the show you're leaving the message for and your name. We hope you enjoyed this episode of From the Command Center and wish you'll join us next time when we will be continuing the Power Rangers talk with Power Rangers Time Force.
I can't wait.
Me either. For now, I am TFG1Mike with
Scotty Cash.
Thank you for listening. Until next time. Take it away, Zordon.
Let the power protect you.